Hello, assalamu alaikum, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Our today's session is about listening test, and for this part, I'm going to talk about part two. Part two of listening in IELTS preparation is quite similar to the first one, but generically a bit different. Now, I'm going to talk about the specification, the topic areas, the question types, and of course some repetitive features that it has. To begin with the test itself, the second part begins with the second tape script that you hear, and the associated questions you get in question paper are from 11 to 20. So there are 10 questions in each section or each part, and second part is just as same. So in this part, these 10 questions are divided into two parts, okay, and two question types are there actually. In fact, I'm moving to the question types a bit later, so let's talk about the test itself in the beginning. So basically it's generically it is monologue. A monologue is a solo talk by one person, and in part two this monologue can be by a guide, an organizer, or a presenter of some event or something, and they will talk about some specific topics. Now that takes me to the topic areas. Now, what are the topic areas that you get here? The topic areas generally includes the it may be an itinerary, or it can be a travel destination, description of those destinations, or it can be details of some programs or some festivals. So there is nothing academic about it. All these events that take place or that are about are mainly of social context and taken from social or everyday situations. So this is about the topic areas. Now let's move to the question types that you have here in this section. This section has some particular question types and that are very common to it. Like the first one you were likely to get is labeling a diagram or labeling a map. And this, it has to be done in the question booklet as you hear the description in the tape script. So you hear the description in the tape script and you have to label the diagram on the question booklet with the clues provided along with the chart or the map or the diagram. So this is one thing you do, the first question type. There may be some supplementary question types or complementary question types, like there will be some types of completion task, like it can be chart completion or table completion, or it can be note completion. So these are very common type for part 2. Apart from that, you can also have matching, some kind of matching task, but whatever you do, you are likely to get this type of task mostly. Okay, so let's go to the final part of our talk, which is the repetitive features. The features of task 2 is quite similar to the other tasks or other parts, like it has all the questions are sequential, they are orderly designed. Then it has all those words that you hear, and those are written. The oral and the written words are identical. There is nothing synonymous words used in this tape script. So what you hear, it is written in the question booklet. It's quite same. Okay, and besides that, unlike part 1, here mostly the answers are not repeated, but at the same time they are stressed or emphasized, so it is not very difficult to answer the questions correctly. So again, you have to remember that the categories, the points that you encounter, you have to remember those shifting words, the shifting markers, or the linkers or the connectives that are used, and how the points are given, unless you want to miss the questions coming up. Okay, so if you keep these things in mind, I think question I mean, part 2 will be much more easier for you. So take a test, take one test separately, individual parts, even if it's necessary, if you think fit. So then you can find out what are the problems you are having. So for today, I think that would be all for so see you next day, inshallah, and until then, ma salama.